I'm going to speak with you today briefly about something that I think will be a benefit to you. And it is escaping Satan's death penalty, or escaping the Satan's death row. What do I mean by that? Well, what I know about sickness is that there are all different kinds of sickness. You all know that too. But sometimes Satan gets us into a position where he acts as if he is the one that gets to determine a death sentence for us. If you remember in the 9th chapter of the book of Mark, there was a story of a man who had a son, and his son had a deaf and dumb spirit in him. And Jesus, Peter, James, and John were up in what's called the Mountain of Transfiguration. And while they were up there, Jesus was transformed. His clothing became white. Moses and Elijah came and spoke to him, and another translation or another version of that event says that they came to talk to him about his exodus that he was going to have from the earth. In other words, they came to talk to him about his crucifixion and his dying. But when he came back down from that mountain and that exalted place, the people were around. There was not a lot of noise around, and the rest of his disciples were down talking to the people, and the scribes were asking his disciples questions. And Jesus comes and says, "Why are you questioning my disciples? What are you asking them?" And finally, a man speaks out and he says, "Listen, I brought my son to your disciples. He has a dumb spirit, and I brought them to him to heal them. I brought him to them to heal him, and they couldn't do it." And he begins to talk about this dumb spirit and says he takes him and throws him into the fire, and he takes him and throws him into the water. This is the spirit doing this to this boy, and it says, and he's trying to destroy him. Amen. And he says, "But if Jesus, if you can do anything, have mercy upon us, have compassion on us, and help us." And Jesus tells this man, he says, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Now, I want to help break this down just a little bit for you. You see, Satan's plan is not to make you upset or even miserable, or just make sure that you have a bad time. He really wants to kill you. Okay? I hope I can say that. This presentation today is not for everybody, although it is for everybody, but it's really for some specific people who the devil has a death sentence on your life. You have cancer that the doctors say there's nothing we can do about it. You have a liver disease or lung disease or other terminal illness that the doctors have basically said, you know what, we're sorry, there's nothing we can really do for you. And in those situations, the devil appears to have a death sentence hanging over your life. And that was the case of this boy that we're talking about now. There was a death sentence over his life. Satan was throwing him into fire, throwing him into water, trying to kill him. But listen, even when the devil thinks he's got a death sentence on your life, doesn't mean that there is a death sentence on your life. And Jesus goes ahead and heals this boy anyway, even though there was a death sentence from the devil. Oh, I want you to hear me today. Jesus goes ahead and heals this boy, even though there was a death sentence on his life, and the devil was trying to kill him. What am I saying today? Some of you have conditions where it appears as though there has been a death sentence hung over your life. But I came here today to tell you that it is a lie. There is no death sentence on your life. We all have to die. It's appointed unto man once to die, and after that the judgment. But we die when God says we have completed the task that he has given us to do. We don't die because Satan puts a disease on us from which we cannot be healed by medical science. God is still the healer. Somebody say amen if you can. I wanted to encourage somebody. I woke up in tears this morning thinking about those of you who are suffering, who Satan has put a death sentence on your life, and you don't know how you're going to change it. Well, I want to give you some encouragement today about some things that you can do to make a change. Amen. This is for that person. You've tried different things. You've struggled. You don't know what to do. This little boy, his father was torn up about the fact that he saw this demon on his son, and Satan was trying to kill him, and he did not know what to do about it. But the Lord said, if you can believe, all things are possible to him to believe, and God healed him anyway. I want to give you just a couple of pointers of things that you could do. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 20, it says, keep my words before your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart. My words are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. You know, we do a lot of things on schedules, right? We cook on schedules often. We eat on schedules. We go to work on schedules. We take care of our children on schedules. We take medicine that the doctor may give to us to take on schedules. And so I am going to make a recommendation and suggestion for you today, something else that you can do on a schedule. I know of people that had diseases that medical science really